Hello my dear students, we are back again yet with another class from your class 6 English textbook, that is Purvi. Okay. Today the unit which we are going to do is nurturing nature. So in this unit there are different chapters where we are going to know and learn certain things about nature, how to take care of it and what is the importance of building a beautiful nurturing nature around us. Okay. So our chapter is Neem Baba. It is actually a very you can say resourceful chapter where you can understand and you can learn different benefits of some very important plants in and around us. Okay. So my dear students, the chapter name is Neem Baba. So before we begin the chapter, you can see that in the picture given here, a tree is given with some, you can say some gaps are there and we have to fill those gaps. Okay. First you can see that it is written some parts of the trees are used in preparing medicines. You know that in our neighborhood and in your homes around you, there are many plants and trees which have some important medicinal values. Okay. You know that I am sure you have heard about a neem tree which has various medicinal values and it is actually a very useful tree in our daily lives. Okay. And yet it is a very common tree around us. So let us try to fill the gaps which are there. You can see one is done for you. So what are the benefits you have, I am sure you have heard from your mother or your grandmother and in your home right from your childhood that neem plant is a very useful plant. Okay. So what can we write? First of all, you can write that all trees give us most important thing, that is oxygen. Trees give us oxygen and which is an important part of the process of photosynthesis. Next, what can we write? You can say the trees help prevent soil from erosion. I am sure you have learned in your SST or your geography class about soil erosion, right. So trees play an important role in soil erosion. So you can also write it there. And not to forget the most common and yet important thing, trees give us many kinds of food, you know that, and shade also in summer, winter, even in rainy days, trees always give us proper shade. Okay. When especially in the summer season, we tend to stand under the shade of the trees. So my dear children, there are many benefits the trees, important trees gives us, and some of the common things are, it gives us shade, it gives us many food, it gives us many medicines, and also there are other factors like as I told you, it helps in soil erosion, it helps in photosynthesis, right. So these are the things you can write in the gaps. See, I have done it for you. Now coming to the chapter, if we come to the chapter, before beginning the story or the conversation between Amber, you can see in the picture a girl is sitting beneath the tree and they are having a kind of conversation. In practical life, we do not talk to trees or trees do not actually talk to us, but it is one kind of, you can say, expressing our inner self, or sometimes we think about the trees and we should think about nurturing these trees and protecting these trees. Okay. So let us first talk about the learning outcomes which we are going to get from this chapter. The learning outcomes, number one is respect and care for nature. It is very important, as you all know, that those trees especially which are very important in our day to life and which have a very important value in our life, especially those which have the medicinal values, those trees are actually very important and we should learn to respect and care these elements of nature. Next, the second learning outcome, trees like neem are actually not just useful for our mankind or human beings, but they are also an important part of us being healthy. Okay. So, neem trees actually are very important, they keep us healthy. Even the breeze of the neem tree is very healthy for us. The next learning outcome from this chapter is there are many benefits from this tree. Every part of a neem tree can be used. So, of course, we are going to know the origin of this plant. Also, this plant is known by different names in different places. And another important learning outcome from this chapter is that it is very important to take care and preserve and protect these assets of our nature. Without these plants and trees, I am sure our nature would not be as it is now, and it would not be fit for us to live in this planet. That is why I would always tell you to grow these plants, protect these plants as long as we want to be healthy and we want to live a healthy life in our planet. Okay. So, now my dear children, let us begin. As I told you, a little girl is sitting, you can see, beneath the tree, and she is one kind of having a conversation. Okay. So, here Amber returned from her school and sat down in the shade of the neem tree in her courtyard. She felt that the tree, she was sitting under it, and she was having a conversation. So, what is that conversation? First, Amber is telling, "Namaste, I am Amber. I would like to talk to you. May I?" Here, Neem Baba, the neem tree, responds, "Sure, dear Amber, I know you. You played in my shade in your childhood. You may call me Neem Baba." Here, as if you can see, it is somewhat unreal, but actually you can see the tree responded to Amber's call, and the neem tree told that you were the one who played during your childhood days in under my shade, okay, and you can call me what? Neem Baba. That is the name of the chapter. Amber said, "I have seen you almost everywhere." Okay. Amber found many trees around her neighborhood and in many places, and she told that I have seen you in many places, right? Please tell me something about you, about yourself. Neem Baba told, I am very old. I was born millions of years ago, somewhere in North India or Myanmar. Here comes the information of origin of the neem trees. Neem Baba told Amber that the neem tree originated many years ago somewhere in North, you can say India or Myanmar. Okay. Soon my family spread outside India. So, Amber was very much curious to know this thing that outside India, Neem Baba, where else can be you found? Amber asked the neem tree, you are also there in other places outside India? Where else or in which part of the world can we find you? Neem Baba told, my family can be found in Asian and African countries, even in some parts of America. Here, Neem Baba told that their offsprings were spread to many parts of Africa and many other Asian countries. So, here Amber had a question, and Amber was very much curious to know That's wonderful, Amber said. Who gave you your name? Now, Amber asked Neem Baba where from your name came. So, Neem Baba replied, the story is very thought provoking. I was born in India and given Sanskrit name as Arishta. See the information about the origin of the name of Neem, okay, Neem tree. Originally its name was kept as Arishta, which means the one which cures diseases. As you know that neem plants, neem trees, every part of a neem tree is useful in making medicines somewhere or the other, and it was also known as Nimba or Nimbaka. Okay, see another thing, a new information we got, it was also called Nimba or Nimbaka, and where the Iranians made the name short as Neem. From Nimba or Nimbaka it came to Neem. Really, Amber was very excited to know that. Yes, in Hindi my name is Nimb. In India I have other names, Neem, Limba, Nimori, Nimbamond, Nimbe and Nimo. See, we got so many new things to know. In India, neem tree is also named in many parts of the country in different languages. You can say different names are kept for the neem tree, like Nimori, then Limba, then Neem, then Nimbamond, okay, Nimme and Nimo. My God, you are so well known. That is wonderful, said Amber. Now Neem Baba replied that, dear Amber, we become well known for what we do. People find us useful and that is why they know us. Scientists call us bitter grace of God. As you know that the taste of the neem trees, plants or leaves and branches, these are bitter in taste. So, actually it is also known as bitter grace of God. Nature's gift to man and cleanliness parting tree. Some even call us magic tree and the tree of the 20th century. You can see, my dear students, that a neem tree is very useful in many ways. Also, it has many names and it is known differently in different parts of the world, in different parts of India, and different community of people call it by different names. So, my dear children, this is the end of part 1. Until next class, we shall continue with part 2. Thank you.